Welcome to the appendix, where we read the primary sources of the past so that you can better understand the future. Today's primary resource, Concessions to the Province of Pennsylvania, July 11, 1681. William Penn secured a charter to Pennsylvania March 4, 1681, and immediately began to advertise his land and organize a colony. He drew up an account of the province and its advantages, which was widely circulated in England and on the continent. At the same time, he began to sell shares to those who wished to join him in the enterprise and to arrange for land sales and grants. To regulate these matters, he drafted a body of conditions and concessions dealing chiefly with the land and with Indian relations. These concessions were not designed as a constitution or body of laws. The frame of the government, comprising both a constitution and a series of laws agreed upon in England, bore the dates of April 25th and May 3rd, 1682. Certain conditions or concessions agreed upon by William Penn, propriety and governor of the province of Pennsylvania, and those who are the adventurers and purchasers in the same province. 1. That so soon as it pleaseth God that the above said persons arrive there, a certain quantity of land or ground plat shall be laid out for a large town or city in the most convenient place upon the river for health and navigation, and every purchaser and adventurer shall by lot have so much land therein as will answer to the proportion which he hath bought or taken up upon rent. But it is to be noted that the surveyors shall consider what roads or highways will be necessary to the cities, towns, or throughout the lands. Great roads from the city to city, not to contain less than 40 foot in breadth, shall be first laid out and declared to be for highways, before the dividends of acres be laid out for the purchaser, and the like observation to be had for the streets in the towns and cities, that there may be convenient roads and streets preserved, not to be encroached upon by any planter or builder, that none may build irregularly to the damage of another. In this custom governs. 3. That when the country lots are laid out, every purchaser, from 1,000 to 10,000 acres or more, not to have above 1,000 acres together, unless in 3 years they plant a family upon every 1,000 acres, but that all such as purchase together lie together, and if as many as comply with this condition, that the whole be laid out together. 7. That for every 50 acres that shall be allotted to a servant at the end of his service, his quit rent shall be 2 shillings per annum, and the master or owner of the servant, when he shall take up the other 50 acres, his quit rent shall be 4 shillings by the year, or if the master of the servant, by reason in the indentures he is so obliged to do, allot out to the servant 50 acres in his own division, the said master shall have, on demand, allotted him from the governor the 100 acres at the chief rent of 6 shillings per annum. 8. And for the encouragement of such as are ingenious and willing to search out gold and silver mines in this province, it is hereby agreed that they have liberty to bore and dig in any man's property, fully paying the damages done, and in case a discovery should be made, that the discoverer have 1/5, the owner of the soil, if not the discoverer, 1/10 part, the governor 2/5, and the rest to the public treasury, saving to the king the share reserved by patent. 9. In every 100,000 acres, the governor and propriety by lot reserveth 10 to himself, that shall lie but in one place. 10. That every man shall be bound to plant, or man, so much of his share of land as shall be set out and surveyed, within 3 years after it is so set out and surveyed, or else it shall be lawful for newcomers to be settled thereupon, paying to them their survey money, and they go up higher for their shares. 11. There shall be no buying and selling, be it with an Indian, or one among another, of any goods to be exported, but what shall be performed in public market, when such places shall be set apart, or erected, where they shall pass the public stamp or mark. If bad ware, and prized as good, or deceitful in proportion or weight, to forfeit the value, as if good and full weight and proportion, to the public treasury of this province, whether it be the merchandise of the Indian or that of the planters. 12. As for much as it is usual with the planters to overreach their poor natives of the country in trade, by goods not being good of the kind, or debased with mixtures with which they are sensibly aggrieved, it is agreed, whatever is sold to the Indian in consideration of their furs shall be sold in the marketplace, and there suffer the test, whether bad or good. If good, to pass; if not good, to be sold for good, that the natives may not be abused nor provoked. 13. That no man shall, by any ways or means, in word or deed, affront or wrong any Indian, but shall incur the same penalties of the law, as if he had committed it against his fellow planter. And if any Indian shall abuse, in word or deed, any planter of this province, that he shall not be his own judge upon the Indian, but he shall make his complaint to the governor of the province, or his lieutenant, or deputy, or some inferior magistrate near him, who shall, to the utmost of his power, take care with the king of the said Indian, that all reasonable satisfaction be made to the said injured planter. 15. That the Indians shall have liberty to do all things relating to improvements of their ground, and providing sustenance for their families, that any of the planters shall enjoy. 16. That the laws as to slander, drunkenness, swearing, cursing, pride in apparel, trespasses, distresses, replevins, weights, and measures shall be the same as in England, till altered by law in this province. 18. That in clearing the ground, care be taken to leave 1 acre of trees for every 5 acres cleared, especially to preserve oak and mulberries for silk and shipping. William Penn. Thank you for joining us for today's primary source on the appendix. We will see you in the stats.